Good evening from Washington, D.C., and thank you for joining us for News from a Catholic Perspective. I'm Wyatt Goolsby, in for Lauren Ashburn. President Trump takes action to boost free speech on college campuses. He signed an order late this afternoon to require universities to back the First Amendment or risk losing some funding. White House correspondent Mark Irons reports. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Wyatt. If colleges want to keep getting research and education grants, they had better protect the First Amendment. That's the message from President Trump today.
We're here to take historic action to defend American students and American values. They've been under siege.
President Trump signs an executive order instructing the federal government to protect free speech on college campuses.
Universities that want taxpayer dollars should promote free speech, not silence free speech.
University of Chicago President Robert Zimmer is just one critic of the president's move, writing, "I believe that any action by the executive branch that interferes with the ability of higher education institutions to address this problem themselves is misguided and, in fact, sets a very problematic precedent." The whole debate sparked following a string of high-profile cases in which college speakers were heckled or kicked off campus in places like California and Vermont. Many times, the protest targeting conservative speakers.
We believe in free speech, including online and including on campus.
The president previewed today's executive order earlier this month at an annual conference in Washington, where he introduced Hayden Williams, a conservative college activist punched in the face at UC Berkeley.
But there's so many conservative students across the country who are facing discrimination, harassment, and worse if they dare to speak up on campus.
Including those who fight for life in the womb.
No one needs this executive order more than the pro-life generation.
At the White House for today's signing, Kristan Hawkins, the president of Students for Life. She says the organization has experienced suppression and even vandalism of its pro-life messaging on college campuses across the country, where Hawkins says the fight for unborn babies is vital.
This is where abortions are happening. This is exactly where Planned Parenthood and the abortion industry targets. We have to talk about abortion on college campuses because this is really ground zero of the debate.
The executive order would apply to both public and private colleges and universities. Public ones must comply with the First Amendment. Private ones must honor their own free speech policies. Wyatt?
White House correspondent Mark Irons reporting. Thank you, Mark.